I'm Linda Kluke, and I'm talking with Marshall Jack, my good friend in Hawaii. I'm in front of Lake Louise in Banff, Canada. It's called the Little Lake of the Fishes, Lake of Little Fishes. And today we're bringing Marshall in because I want to find out about what you're talking about when you say we need to ask for permission. So permission is, what is that exactly? I'm kind of confused about that.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I kind of think, they have this saying nowadays that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. And I think that's kind of a mindset that people have nowadays. Like, why do I have to ask permission? But there's a good reason for that, isn't there?
Well, we're talking apples and oranges here.
Okay.
What you're expressing is something that we came up in the human dialogue, right? It's kind of like a poetic term that we use as amongst humans. The other side of the coin is a spiritual. Okay, so the way I was taught, very, very young, that was probably the first teaching that my elders had given me. And being very small, they would say, okay, we need to ask permission to talk with the Great Spirit or the Holy Ones or our ancestors or whatever. Well, when they mentioned that, and when I was small, I didn't understand that either. But that's what the elders did, is that whenever they gathered up and did a ceremony, the leader would always say a prayer or an invocation or whatever, just kind of looking up into the sky, and says, I ask permission to speak to all of the holy realms or the Creator, the Great Spirit, to come down and join with us. And I call all of our ancestors in, both on our mother and our father's side, to be with us here also. So listening to that over and over and over again, basically every morning when the elders came together, they would always ask permission. But it was strictly asking permission in ceremony. The way it was explained to me over the years, my grandmother kind of explained it this way. She says, could I ask her? I said, so Grandma, why do we ask permission? What is that? And she says, well, if you look up into the sky, you look way up there. She said, that's where the Creator lives. That's where our ancestors live. That's where all the holy ones live. And if you want to talk with them, if you want to ask them a question or get some clarity or whatever, you first ask permission. It's almost like us knocking on their door.
Okay.
Okay. And so we're doing it with a word, with an intention in our minds, is that I'm looking up to the Creator's realm and say, okay, I'm asking permission to speak with you this day. And so it takes a little bit of understanding and some practice to really know that they're granting you permission. And being a little guy, I don't even know if I was under the assumption that they were listening to me. This guy like that, and okay, whoever the heck you are up there, I'm asking permission to speak with you. And I'd sit and wait. And then Grandma, she would say, well, you got to ask him a question. It could be any kind of question. What do you want to ask him? And I says, well, can you take care of my grandma?
Uh-huh.
Or can you take care of the plants? Can you take care of the animals? Or take care of the water? And she says, that right there, that's how you talk with the holy ones. You're asking permission to speak with them on their level. It's kind of beyond the human level because you're going, off planet basically. and you're talking with everything that is sacred in those holy realms. It could be even asking permission to talk with Jesus, or asking permission to talk with God, or Allah, or whatever. It's like a formal spiritual greeting that we use in our spiritual lives. It's like if we want to talk with the holy ones and we're asking for help, we automatically ask permission to speak with them. That opens up the door to their world. So does that explain it a little bit better, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it does. Is it always a guarantee that if you ask permission that opens up that they're going to answer the knock on the door?
Okay, very interesting you say that. I'm going to give you a yes and no answer. Scurrying around, doing whatever, and then all of a sudden something pops into your mind and saying, oh, your car won't start, right?
Yeah.
Just example, your car won't start. So right off the cuff, you just kind of move around, you look upstairs and say, okay, I ask permission to speak with you, God or creator or whatever. I need help starting my car. That's off the cuff energy. You have to be focused. You have to be in a quiet setting.
Okay.
And you have to be clear with the intention and calm, because you're talking with the holy ones. You're not talking with Barbara next door or Joe.
Yeah.
You're talking with the holy ones. They're powerful people, powerful entities out there. And so there's that spiritual integrity, I guess, if you will. Is that, yeah, when you speak with the holy ones, you want to be in a sacred place, in a sacred frame of mind. And so in that form, I'm going to say they will always grant you permission. In the other one, asking off the cuff for a mechanic or help with that, that's kind of a yes and no little instance too, because sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, because your mind isn't focused.
Okay. Or could it also be because there's a reason why your car won't start? I mean, okay, beyond what we know now at the moment, that you're avoiding the accident that you would have been in the middle of later on, 5 minutes from now or whatever.
Exactly. So that's what we call the unknown factors of why they're not, why they're not answering us. If I don't have this feeling inside of me that I've connected with them, then for me, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe my mind isn't focused enough to call upon them. In ceremony, obviously, the intention is there. We're taking care of a lot of people, a lot of plants, animals, the whole realms here on the planet. And so your intentions are really, really focused and saying, okay, I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for wisdom and understanding of how to conduct the ceremonies. I need some influence down here of what do you need me to do for these people or for the land. So that's more focused, right? The intention is, yeah. And your questions on that spiritual intention.
Does it have to do with mundane or things of a not 3D world kind of situation, like in the instance where I'm asking for permission to help me with my car? That's a 3D mundane kind of a thing. But if you're asking for help in assistance and guidance into how to deal with this larger issue that doesn't just involve me, on the one side, I'm asking for permission and it's very self-centered. I'm asking you to just help me in this situation, just right here, right now, like you said, off the cuff. In the other instance, it's more global. It encompasses more than just me. And it's not focused on my self-interest. It's focused on everybody's well-being.
Right.
Okay.
And so like the elders, they say it this way, is that when we call upon the holy ones, we're not only calling them in for ourselves, the human realms, but we're calling them in for all the plants, all the animals, the creatures in the oceans and waters. It's kind of like we're asking help for
Okay.
everything that lives upon the earth, not just us.
Right.
And we're asking for that guidance, you know. And it's like these upcoming ceremonies that we're preparing ourselves for. When we speak about these things, because this is a global synchronization project.
Yeah.
When we speak about it, we 100% of the time do a small prayer asking the holy ones to guide us, even like this video. Right before we started recording this video, I called in the holy ones. You know, give me the words to say right here on this video. What can I say to the people? And so it's kind of like this transmission comes in, and it's kind of like they're speaking now, saying, give them something to do. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you a small little project working with permission. The next time you go to the store, or the next time you leave your house and enter your house, you're going to ask permission to leave your house. When you go, I'm just going to say, hypothetically, you're going to a supermarket. When you get to that supermarket, after you parked your car or walk to the supermarket, however you got there, before you go into that market, just take a second, focus your mind, getting kind of a visual of how many people are in that market, how many plants are in there, and all the food sources are in there, and ask permission to go into that market. Get your items that you need, and you're asking blessings for everything that's in that market at the same time, right? So you're asking permission to go in there. Once you've checked out and you're going back outside, you're asking permission to leave, because what you've done is you opened up an energy field. You created an energy field to walk into, because that's your intention. You go in there, do whatever you need to do, and when you're coming back out, your intention's fulfilled inside of that market. And so you want to close that energy field up, get into your car, bring your items back home. Now, this is interesting, because those items carry energy, right? Your bags of vegetables and meat, potatoes, or whatever it is, all that's energy, because it comes from the earth. So when we go into our home, we're bringing brand new energy into our home. Sound a little silly, but when you open up your door and just basically say, okay, I ask permission to come into my home to bring these new items into my home. If your bags don't fall, your eggs don't drop on the ground, or you find your keys or whatever, then you're granted permission to go into your home. Your home is a sanctuary, right? Your home knows the good and the bad about energies coming in and out of the home. And so that's one way to start practicing permission. Teach yourself how to ask permission to be a part of this day. As soon as you wake up, go outside, sit, focus, and say, look, just look around. There's a lot of energy, obviously, around you. And you're asking permission to be a part of that bigger energy field that's around you. Just practice that. And you'll be amazed at the synchronicities that happen once you tap into that permission factor. Put it another way that's more promising for us, I guess.
Okay.
Our elders, when they got up every morning and went out and did their sunrise ceremonies, the first thing they say is, we ask permission. We ask permission to be a part of this brand new day that has never, ever been used. And if you really think about that, once you wake up and you find yourself in a brand new day, okay, It's a brand new day, never ever been used. Right? Never ever been used by anything except our thoughts. And so all of this energy that's around us, I want to be a part of all of this energy that's around me. And so I ask permission to be a part of this energy this day. And I ask for protection. I ask for guidance. I ask for clarity. And then I just open up the door and I say, okay, here I am this day. What I'm asking the Holy Ones this, what do you need me to do for you this day? Very simple, very precise. But what it does is it clears out all of the other energies that I don't need around me. And it makes a very pleasant day when I do that, because, you know, right now with the pandemic going on and, you know, all of the crises happening around the planet and whatever, and the governments and everything else, and, you know, all that stuff, that's all energy also.
Right.
But if we don't shield ourselves some way, somehow against all of that outside energy, then we get consumed by it. And then we lose our thoughts, and we thought, oh my God, you know, the world, man, I can't do this. This is happening to me. And, you know, woe is me kind of. But when you started out asking permission to be a part of this day, wonderful things start happening.
Okay. So I guess when this video is posted, people can start putting comments in and let us know what your feedback is on how your homework assignment went. Yeah. And what experiences you have. What were the things that you noticed on asking for permission?
So again, I just want to reiterate that this week, for the next 7 days, for you that's watching the video, it might be a little foreign to you, and it might take you a couple of days to really kind of get in with that permission factor, but I assure you, it will be more beneficial than you'll ever understand, because you're connecting with the holy realms one-on-one. There's no in-between guy that you have to go through to connect with the holy ones. You can do this on your own. The other thing that we want to reiterate too is that each one of us has an energy field. And that energy field is what's called an authoritarian field of energy to walk upon this planet. Understand that? Okay. I know a lot of people never grew up in a extended family environment where they had elders teaching you about all of this stuff. But for me, it was like, okay, every process of my journey from a little guy, every year, they would teach me more and more about energy, how to interact with the energy, and not to use it in a harmful way. And so just by doing the simple little practice for the next 7 days, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed of how truly wonderful that energy really is when you give focus. Don't say it off the cuff, but focus. Take yourself a little bit of time, knowing that there's something greater than you are out there in the heavens, and all you're doing is asking permission to tap into that greater source. That's basically all it is.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that enlightening little talk. And shall we go ahead and close up?
Yeah, I guess we can close up, and why don't we go ahead and close up with a prayer, or I'll offer some energy. Yeah. Okay. Once again, I ask permission to speak with all of the holy realms, all of the ancestors, all of the plants and animals, everything that lives upon this planet. Thank you for coming in this day, helping us, guiding us, and speaking through us to give examples of how powerful permission really is. And so I want to thank Linda. I ask Linda to be blessed, her home, her family, that they would be watched over, protected, and keeping safe from harm. I also ask this for all of you who are watching this video right now. yeah, you'll be okay as long as you understand the energies and you ask permission to be a part of the energy. So again, we thank you for joining us this day, and we look forward to seeing you again. Aho.
Oh,
Yeah.
mahalo.
Thank you, Linda. I'll
Thank you, Marshall.
see you out here somewhere.